Right, ladies. So, how do we feel today then? Um, I'm doing this video blog as I am, without me war paint, not even dried my hair properly yet, as I've just come out of the shower. And I'll tell you what happened to me yesterday. I stood outside that court and I kind of was expecting the worst because I have no faith in this government or any of its previous governments, quite frankly, but particularly this corrupt and greedy government. So when the ruling came, and a lovely lady and her husband, I always see every protest, be it Manchester, wherever, Susan Birch and her husband always faithfully turn up. And Sue came up to me stricken, like all of us. We couldn't speak. We could not speak. We were that stunned at just the brevity, the indifference, the dismissal, and that was the word they used, dismissed, yeah? The dismissal of 4 million women's plight, nearly. And it took a while, and then the adrenaline started coming up from my feet, and about an hour later it had reached my stomach. At that point, people had stayed at the courts, just stood there for ages because they couldn't think what the hell had happened to them yesterday. So I then had to get on a train back to Margate, which is close to where I live. I had to go grab a couple of hours sleep, which I couldn't do at my daughter's from 4 o'clock. I couldn't do before I started to babysit. And then I did, as we're all doing at the moment, against our wills, most likely. I'm not saying all, because some people like their jobs, but I'm doing mine because I can't afford to live and with just my husband's wage at the moment. So against our wills, most of us are doing what I did last night. Was I did from 10:30 last night to 7:30 this morning. I did a night shift as a carer, and then I had to get up, grab some shopping, come home, and I got home about 11 o'clock this morning, and I fell on my face, and I've just surfaced. It's 3 o'clock. So if you're wondering why it's took me this long, being persistent, that's the reasons why. I'm beyond angry. I'm beyond angry. And my husband has said to my daughter, she's a heart attack waiting to happen, because I am passionate. You can probably tell I'm passionate about it. I did get on the radio, on LBC radio yesterday, and I did speak some of my mind, but I could have filled, once I got going, obviously, you know me, I could have filled the whole programme with what's really happened to us and the underhand and as far as I'm considered, fraudulent activity of these governments that have done what they've done to all the people in this country by the rape of the National Insurance Fund. But I came home, I still couldn't speak much. Tamanda and I sat on the train. There wasn't a lot we could say. We just sat there stunned. Tamanda went home and she hasn't been able to sleep. I've been up anyway, so I've been seeing all the bits and bats. At about 3 o'clock this morning, Coral Maddock from We Paid In, You Paid Out, texted me and went, "Go to sleep. You're going to have a heart attack." And then she went, "Oops, pot kettle," because she was up as well, because it was going through her head again and again and again. I should imagine she just couldn't sleep like many of us yesterday. Right, this is where I'm saying now. This is the crux of what I'm saying. All of us today will have woken up from that disgraceful, and I'm saying disgraceful, decision yesterday. And we will think we're weak, we're not winning, we might as well give up. And I'm saying to you, this is not the time. Right now, this is not the time to give up. Look after yourselves. Lick your wounds for a couple of days and treat yourself nicely. Treat others nicely as well. But ladies, and I'm going to use the word ladies, women, whatever you want to call yourselves, I don't care. But what I do think we should be doing now, yesterday was a great example of how women from different groups came together, hugged, kissed, stood on the steps of the Royal Courts of Justice with no division, yeah? No one with any egos trying to get one up on somebody else. This is not what we are about right now. We are about women who have been historically, and I'm going to use the same word as the judge used for the men, historically discriminated against all our lives. The evidence was overwhelming. And they still came down with three main points. Was one, that no one in this country, not just us, no one, men, women, our children, their children, and that's what's important here, no one in this country has the right to fairness. No one in this country has the right to be told that they are going to do something to them that will possibly devastate their lives. And like many of the 82,000 women that have died since this has come into effect from between 60 and 65, have died because, not because of, although I doubt, I'm sure that many of those women have died because of this law, but many that have died early have not received a pension. They have probably been sick and ill, frightened, and made to carry on working or subject themselves to the humiliation and the degradation of the benefit system. Some have even been forced at the age they should be retiring into prostitution just to make ends meet. This is not something that we should just be lying down and giving up on. This is me with just took 2 tablets. I am a mess today. Mess physically, but I've woke up. I have brushed this off because this is the only way we are going to win. Unity. So right now, when Back to 60 calls for us to protest, we go to the Back to 60. It doesn't matter what colours you're in. And Back to 60 and WASPy and We Paid In, you pay out. If their base concern is for all these 1950s women, they will welcome whatever colours that we want to wear. If we call a swarm through WASPy, if We Paid In, we go there in whatever colours we want to wear because we are 1950s women, and this has been a disgrace. The third part of that judgment was about they have done this to equalise the state pensions because of a historic discrimination to men. No one's arguing that, we know that, but men aren't getting any better off. They're stitching them up as well. They're trying to make it out that they are doing something for men to equalise the discrimination. No, they're not. They've risen the men's pension age as well. We should not have had this happening to us, any of us, if they had not have decimated the National Insurance Fund. We need to be shouting this right now from the rooftops to our children and to our children's children until they listen. That decision yesterday, I think, it stinks. I'm sorry, I'm going to use the word, it stinks of corruption to me, because they managed, I think, in that decision to also put forward the points that may damage WASPy's maladministration complaint as well in that decision. And I hope that's not the case. I really hope that's not the case. And to cite putting right some discrimination against men and saying we were not discriminated against. And I've been told that the wording, David Henk has said in a tweet, that the wording in that case hand-down notes will shock many women because of the way it talks about us as women, which clearly, when I get my eyes open enough, I will read in the next few days. But have we looked at the fact that discrimination, obviously, is unlawful, but also so is indirect discrimination? And let's just say anything that we are doing legally fails. As far as I'm concerned, the time for sitting down and being polite has ended. And this is my personal thoughts, yeah, I have lost faith with this country. If this is the way we treat our old people, the next, and the disabled, the next they will be culling us if we don't fit certain criteria, and once our use is at an end. And as far as I'm concerned now, ladies, if you do not rise up in your numbers and support each other, then we deserve this to happen to us. And you can obviously, I'm angry, I'm tired, I'm angry, we all are, yeah. I'm going to go and chase my husband to test my blood pressure any minute. He's probably through the roof. But please do not be despondent. What happened yesterday was an absolute disgrace, but something will come of this, I am sure, if we hold fast and we support each other. When I saw that some women in one group have raised money to pay the mortgage arrears of one lady because she was about to lose a house, my heart swelled, and I'm getting emotional, with pride for us, with absolute utter pride. Now, if they can do that in 2 hours, then surely we can unify all the groups and get out there and make sure this rotten, twisted, elitist government who are swigging £46 bottles of champagne that 3 would equate to 1 week of our pension, with no mind to the damage they are doing to us, then we need to address it right now. And we need to unify, and we need to not let colours and group names and group separate agendas get in our way. We need to all recognise that whatever each group is doing is valid, and what every woman is doing is valid. Many of us co-funded Back to 60, and we are absolutely, grateful for all the hard work they've put in. But right now, not one group, but all the groups need to come together so we all support each other. That is the only way we are ever going to win. And to hammer the desk for the women who might be timid, who might be actually sat on the backsides hoping we'll do it for them. And there are some women out there, and I'm not going to be vicious about it, but there are women. We know there are women out there because they've got husbands right now, and they value the fact that they're in retirement and they've got enough money. And there are women out there who've got the money, are still helping us, thank God. But there are women out there right now who need to wake up to the fact that it's not just them, and whether they've got the money to have a retirement that's of a decent standard or not, they should be looking at what they're doing to their fellow women and to this country and to our future of our children, and stand up with us in whatever way they can. So I am asking you to get out there, get out on the streets as soon as you've had a rest, and do not give up. Enough. Rant over.